Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is how I will be taking you through maybe next 25, 30 to all of you. Please mark this very carefully. Tourism as a subject of study, how does it exist, right? And the first reflection I shared was that tourism as a field of study is not falling within the strict parameters of call it as a discipline. Let's say forensic economics is a discipline, so is physics, so is chemistry, so is mathematics, but within the strict parameters of defining a discipline, tourism doesn't fall into that. Therefore, we often say tourism is a discipline of disciplines, which means more than one discipline forms and set up the framework for the study of tourism, right? And how tourism exists as an industry. That is the second question I would like to throw across. But these questions I'm going to throw around, you have to read yourself and you have to prepare yourself. That is the way forward. All right. So whether tourism is an industry, the scholars around the world, experts around the world still are debating. We often say tourism is, again, like tourism as a subject of study, tourism as an industry is not just a standalone industry, but it is an industry of industries, or it is an amalgamation of different industries. That is what it constitutes to be understood as tourism. Then comes what is the travel experience? And that form an integral part of on what amounts to the study on the subject of tourism. Because when you're talking about tourism, we have to place people in the center or the middle. Who are the people when we're talking about here? The tourists. The people who have been moving around, be place and experiencing the place, some would say consuming the place, consuming whatever scenery they are seeing around. So when you are talking about tourism and travel studies, we are talking as much about the travel experience, which means the people are the center in tourism industry or in tourism travel studies. And one more important aspect you have to look at, that is tourism as an attraction or as an industry, or tourism as an industry when we talk of in the strict sense of production and consumption. That is what an industry is all about. What's an industry? A product or experience comes out through a process and the output. The output is what we call as tourism. And the tourism industry that we try to understand, we also need to understand that many tourism has a great amount of spatial fixity, meaning that it is fixed in places. For instance, a hotel. For instance, Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is fixed in a place in Agra. So to consume Taj Mahal, to experience Taj Mahal, you have to go to the place of its location, realistic about the curiosity of experiencing what Taj Mahal is all about, right? And therefore, the next understanding we should have, looking at tourism and travel studies, is that tourism and travel studies is more of a systemic framework where you are studying many things and many subjects and many themes to make tourism experience happen. So these are the 4 themes on which I will take you through to a small presentation. The first case I will take you through is creation of tourism knowledge, right? And that is very, very important for all of us to understand. From where the knowledge of tourism comes, how the tourism knowledge is created. That is where you need to have a whole lot of understanding as how to study area exists, right? The first and foremost understanding you have to have is that, as I said already, tourism is a study of subjects, the ideas and concepts around many otherwise established disciplines that we are exposed to. Tourism, we are talking about this primarily as an interdisciplinary study. Please mark the word interdisciplinary. You are studying tourism. We are studying various other subjects along that. Right? Please come to the spectrum. No study in tourism is complete without geography. I give an example for instance. So you know what is geography? Geography is a study about the human relationships and the nature, and also the outcome of these relationships between the human beings and the nature. Then take the idea of tourism. Where does tourism happen? Tourism happens on the lack of the geographic features of a place. That may be scenery, that may be nature, that may be a river, that may be a seafront, that may be a fixed attraction like Taj Mahal. So when we're talking about applications of the concepts of tourism and geography, we are talking about the tourism itself. Therefore, no study in tourism and travel is complete without understanding the geography and the geographic attributes of the places and its features, right? Then comes another important subject, the political science. It is very much part of political science, or tourism draw heavily from political science. What is political science after all? Political studies is about, or political science is about the study of the nations, the organizations, and the whole well-being of people, and the issues and concerns raised around the well-being of people. So that becomes the core of political studies, and therefore you find applications of this very much in the realm of tourism. I'll take an example. When we are having the induction lecture, we have seen that tourism is one of the largest industries in India. Tourism contributes something around 5% of India's GDP, that is gross domestic product. In terms of employment, tourism's total employment effect is something around 11%. And therefore, it has a critical decision on part of the government to give more emphasis in framing tourism policies that will strengthen the tourism development process thereby helping the country benefit better economically, socially, culturally, and environmentally. So I'm just having one example. Like that, you can figure out so many examples where there is a close relationship between the concepts in political science and the very study of tourism and travel. Then come to the law. You know that there are, in India, we have so many laws. And recently we were trying to figure out the laws in India, the acts in India that have direct impact or direct bearing on the making of tourism and travel. So we have seen there are more than 28 laws. I repeat, there are more than 28 laws which are directly connected with the happening of tourism and travel in our country. Isn't it a big subject to study with? Yes. Any policies you talk about, you have to take reference to the law. Well, unless you have a law, you cannot frame the policies. Unless it is part of the constitution. I mean, the Indian constitution, you cannot frame the laws. So therefore, the study of law is equally important for a student who is graduating in travel and tourism. Friends, then comes the most fascinating subject of social sciences, that is economics, right? And we have a field of study in tourism that is called the economics of tourism. And there are plenty of scholars, researchers, experts around the world doing very intensive research on the economics of tourism, which means the making of tourism as an economic activity, how that reflects, how that affects, how that impacts, how that benefits, how that becomes an economic problem to the societies. So you have a huge lot of issues that you would answer as part of your study of tourism economics, right? Then comes the subject of philosophy. I don't need to say anything beyond, because you all know that at the end of the day, everyone wants to philosophize their life, right? And you might be studying subsequently, there is a theory called Maslow's need hierarchy theory. I'm sure some of you must have studied about it. So what this theory talks about, how the human needs rises with the meeting of certain level of needs. The highest level of the need hierarchy pyramid is what we call self-actualization. That is why many times you'd find the tourists becoming philosophical themselves. But at the extreme level of, you can say, the emancipation, underline the word, the emancipation that one achieved through travel. You know why? Travel opens up your eyes and ears, your senses, your worldview, your world understanding, and your own limitations as an individual. So there is a whole lot of connections between the study of philosophy and the core subject matter of tourism and travel. Then psychology. A whole lot of research has already happened applying the concepts of psychology in tourism studies. Mostly the specialists in tourism marketing apply this concept to a large extent in understanding the tourist demand side. Because unless you understand what I think about my holiday, unless you understand what a person sitting in US need as part of his holiday, then you are not going to be successful in meeting his needs, addressing his concerns, and as a consumer, he eventually becomes a dissatisfied consumer. Is that we look at it? No. Therefore, the study of psychology is again very much central to the study of tourism, and we call a subject of tourist psychology, and that is a field of study itself within tourism. Then, of course, the most fascinating area is sociology. Friends, how many of you could say that tourism has nothing to do with the sociology? What is sociology? Sociology is, again, we are studying the society which is constituted with the human beings, the people, and their various multitudes of relationships, man to man, man to institutions, man to societies, man to neighborhood. So you could keep on adding the explanations of sociology. And when you look at tourism from a sociological perspective, you find that sociological concepts cannot be detached from the study of tourism. Rather, again, there are many leading researchers in the world discussing about the sociology of tourism. That means how tourism brings in sociological changes on the one side, and on the other side, how the tourist influences a society. So it is both ways that impacts, that affects a place as a tourist place, place as tourist, place as people who are living in the place. So therefore, the study of tourism is as much about the study of sociology, right? Then comes, this is the phenomenon, this is kind of a spectrum. Within this, again, you take all these main subjects as a framework. Therein you bring in the business-related themes. That means purely talking about business management or various aspects of the tourism and travel-related businesses. I don't want to get too much into at this stage, but still, here what we look at it, we look at the tourism demand, tourism supply, and all other principles of management, marketing, promotion, all of that aspects we discuss, again within the framework of tourism. Then non-business related, which means how the consequences of these are when you are introducing business to a tourist place or to a destination, right? For instance, I give an example. I just finished a research paper on the impact of tourism on urbanization, or how tourism changes the geography of places from agricultural areas, from villages to the cities and towns. Tourism does contribute to formation of new cities and towns. You come to Goa, for instance, many of you must have heard about Goa, some popular places at Kalangut. Kalangut was just a small fishing village, say some 40 years ago. Now, Kalangut is one of the largest towns in Goa. Therein we are seeing tourism leads to urbanization. Therefore, should not that be studied? It should be studied. So that is the point here. So in every aspect of knowledge that we know, Any discipline that we know, you will find a direct application of that discipline, whether it's economics, mathematics, political science, history, culture, business studies. You find the linkage of all of that, direct linkage of all that, the core of tourism or the subject matter of tourism. This is my last slide. I have already briefed you. Anyway, you will be learning more and more about it as you progress with your course. I thought you have to be oriented so that you better appreciate the lectures that is going to follow the whole semester and your entire program, because I know MBA students, hardly anyone, we have very few students study tourism at the graduation level. Therefore, to take time for them to get a grasp of what the subject is, and of course for the BBA students, they are freshly out of the school, and I don't know how many of us have studied tourism at your +2, at your 11 and 12th level. So the idea is to take you through various dimensions of the tourism and travel studies, so that you begin to appreciate the diversity of the studies, and you begin to appreciate your future planning. Okay, I am going to specialize in this aspects of tourism, because tourism is not just one area. Tourism is an area of many subject areas. Now I take you to another concept, that is tourism system. And I started by saying that the travel and tourism studies has to be understood as a study of the systems. You know why? I will also one more concept, introduce one more concept to you, that is spatial fixity, which means fixed at a place, right? That is where I picked an example, for instance, Taj Mahal. And if I want to enjoy Taj Mahal, I have to travel from Goa. I'm based in Goa at the moment, to Agra to see Taj Mahal in person. But Taj Mahal come to me for my physical being. It is not possible. And therefore, the entire happening of tourism takes the shape of a system, right? And if you can see on the left-hand side, on the green circle, there is a originating region, which means people set out from one particular place. For instance, when I have to go to Agra to see Taj Mahal, I form the part of the generating region, because I am the one who is going. So I become the generator as a visitor to Taj Mahal, right? And come to the right hand side, the yellow section, that is the destination region. For me, my destination region is Taj Mahal, right? Then how do I reach there? There is an element, or there are many elements connecting me to that of Taj Mahal. Let us list out. I am sitting here in Goa. I would have to get a ticket, maybe a train ticket or a flight ticket, which I may be doing on myself, or I may be requesting a travel agent to do that, or I may do online, right? So I have an intermediary in between, right? That connects me to that of Agra. Okay, so you, from the place of origin where you are living, you depart, and therefore you are called as a departing traveler. That means you are setting out for Taj Mahal, Agra, and as a tourist, I may not go directly to Agra. I may as much decide, okay, I'll first land up in Delhi. I put up myself there for a few days. I'll see around various places in Delhi. Then I'll proceed to Agra. So Delhi therefore becomes my transit area, right? Because since I'm moving around in Delhi, I am not directly reaching out to my origin, sorry, my destination, that is Agra. So after a few days of moving around in Delhi, I proceed to Agra, right? I see around Agra. I may be spending a few days there. Then I might decide, oh, why not? I am so close to Agra, close to Gwalior. Why not to go and see the beautiful fort and palace in Gwalior? I might go to Gwalior, right? So Gwalior becomes my another transit, right? So the point here is that when you are trying to understand tourism, you have to understand tourism as a system that constitutes three different spaces or the places. First space or place is where I live. That is thousands of kilometers far from, for instance, Agra. Then I proceed to Agra. In between, I may have few halts. So that becomes my transit places, because that's not my final destination. So I move around there. Then I move to what we call as the final destination for that is Agra. So I spend around, see around, stay in places, spend my money, take services of different people, maybe tour guides, hotels, taxis, a lot of things. And then I return, maybe directly to Goa, or in between I might visit some other places as well. So when I return from my final destination, I become a returning traveler, right? So therefore, the whole happening of tourism is very interesting, a very intricate process, because the origin region or the origin area and the destination area are entirely different locations. Depending on the location, maybe hundreds of kilometers, sometimes thousands of kilometers, right? And there are agents, there are forces, there are institutions which enable my going to Agra and come back, therefore my tourism system. If you look at that way, every tourist has their own tourism system, right? And therefore, if you look at it further, suppose I give an example, India, in 2019, we had around roughly 11 million foreign tourists visited India, which means we have 11 million tourism systems. Each one unit constitutes one system. Okay, so that is the point of understanding that you all need to have it. Tourism as a study has to be understood as a system. And in this tourism system, every individual plays an important role, and every individual creates his or his own tourism system, right? And there is another aspect to that. For instance, I have visited Gwalior. I've seen certain things. I felt very good about it. I adopt it. When I come back to Goa, I am coming back as a person with some new ideas and that which I want to absorb and I want to leave that to. Which means as a tourist, you also have a transformative process within you, right? That we call the impacts. It changes persons. It completely changes the outlook of the person. For instance, I give an example. We have many foreigners come to India to do, say, yoga, Ayurveda, and all that. Once or twice, they come in as a customer, in the sense they come to experience it. But third time, they come with the purpose to learn it, to live it, because they have felt the transformative power of yoga or for the matter, Ayurveda. So the idea is that as a traveler, you are not just going to a place and coming back, because your all senses are completely open to new places where you derive whole lot of new ideas, new experiences that would very much have an impact in you. And when you come back at your place, you begin to reflect. Yes, I have seen this, I have seen that. These are good things. These are things that I must look at for my own life. Right? So tourism also means that transformation of individuals, transformation of places. Because tourists demand newer things when they are visiting a place. So that's an industry to create that demand and satisfy the demand. So they create new things. And on the other side, so I went to a place, I like certain things, I want that to be part of my life back home. So I begin to change my surroundings, maybe my house. I would bring some modification the way I felt it, that this is good, fabulous, I should do it. So the study of tourism, therefore, is also about the study of the transformation of the tourist and the study of the transformation of the places. And the transformation of the places, it can be economic transformation, it can be transformation of society, it can be even the transformation of places. That is where I picked the example of the tourist place in Goa, Kalangut, a fishing village that has completely changed to something called town. Now it is one of the important towns in the entire state of India. So that is the transformative power of tourism. So friends, I think I am almost reaching my time. So just to recap, I have introduced two concepts to you. First concept is that what tourism as a field of study, how the knowledge in tourism is created, wherein we have seen tourism is not a standalone subject. Tourism is a subject that draws heavily from almost every discipline that we can, or every subject of study we can identify. And that is the beauty of the subject. Because you are not, as a tourism student, you are not just learning one subject, that is, for instance, economics. You would study tourism economics, you would study tourism demand, you would study tourism marketing, you would study tourism management, you will study destination management. So you study a whole lot of things as part of your graduation in tourism and travel studies. So that is the first takeaway from this lecture. Second, tourism studies as a subject of study has to be understood as a study that has to happen within a systemic framework, and how the system is formed, who are the major players in the system, that is again to be defined without any ambiguity. And when you are again reflecting in tourism as a system, we are reflecting tourism as a systemic framework wherein we absorb ideas from all around. Other with that, I must say thank you all for your patient hearing. I know it is very, very painful to listen such a long period having an earphone on your ears or a headphone, because that is the pressure of online medium that we need to negotiate with. Hopefully, we would be able to meet very soon, face to face, to learn more about it, to interact more about, and get our learning going from strength to strength. With this, thank you all very much. And now back to Ms. Ranu. Ms. Ranu, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, I am here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It was delight hearing you. We'll move to the next session now. So you can please stop sharing your presentation and you can sign off, please. Thank you so much, people. You can follow the other link. Can start leaving this particular session and can start following the other link. Thank you so much, people.